Like, did you really incarnate to do what you are doing now? I could never fathom back then the kind of purpose that I've got. So look at all the distractions in your life right now. What are you doing to distract yourself? Hello, you gorgeous bunch, and welcome back to another Lucy Davis Live. Although, as you've probably recognized, I'm not live. Guys, first and foremost, before I go into why I'm not live today, I want to send a huge heartfelt apology for the fact that my YouTube channel was taken for a week. It was quite an interesting situation. I did a beautiful psychic event as part of my Conscious Conversations community. I uploaded it as a private file so that I could share it with my gorgeous team so they could see what we were doing. It was amazing. We channeled Churchill, and it was just such an incredible, insightful video. And YouTube did not like some of the information that was in there. Told me that I was giving unsolicited medical advice, and they banned me on my channel for a week. However, I am back. As you've seen, I've posted a few videos. Now, I intended to be live at 5 with you guys today. However, I am traveling. She's back off being the Wanderess that she was always intended to be. So this Monday, I am going to be at the airport or in the air. I'm not too sure which, because I'm all confused with times, but I'm going to be at the airport or in the air. So it's not going to be a productive time for me to be able to come on and do a beautiful live with you guys. However, that said, next week on the 22nd of May, I will be back with you live at 5 p.m. And I think, all being well, I'm going to be coming to you live from the UK. So to any of you who are in the UK, you will be seeing me on your home turf. You will be able to feel me even if you can't see me. And yeah, I will do an explosive live from being back home in the UK. Now, what's been going on then? It's been a really intense period of time. And the reason I wanted to do this message today was to kind of like give a bit of a call out to my fellow Starseeds and Lightworkers around the world. It's been a really challenging period of time since we have stepped into May, even like the last week or two of April. It's really taken a whole new level. We've gone into a whole different direction. Timelines have shifted. You know, I like to talk about it as realms, but for the sake of you guys getting what I'm talking about, timelines have shifted massively, and things that were supposed to be going in one direction are now going in a very different direction, and we have things clashing and things, you know, pulling apart and then coming back together. It's a very interesting dynamic right now, and thankfully we are stepping out of Mercury retrograde imminently. Now, I'm filming this video on Friday, the 12th of May, and I am filming from the beautiful mountains where I have been staying for the last 6 weeks. So yeah, I wanted to do a video from here, just calling on my soul brothers and sisters around the world to just anchor in some light to you and just raise the consciousness on a few things that are taking place. So I wrote a few notes earlier on. When I say I wrote, I channeled some notes earlier on, and I just want to, although I'm going to just chat to you and explain to you what's been going on and, you know, how the direction of the world is heading right now, I kind of want to make sure that I do cover off these few points, because right at this moment in time, there are many of us around the world who are questioning what we came here to do. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that over the last few weeks, I've kind of like not really been around too much. And actually, YouTube did me a favor by banning me from YouTube for a week, because it saved me having to show up when I really wasn't in the right headspace to doing so. So it actually has done me a massive favor. And God works like that with people who do God's work. He will always protect. You know, there will always be a layer of protection. You know, when you don't feel like you can do something, it will give you a reason why you don't need to show up, or it will protect you massively. And I do know that I am so protected by God, and I am so protected by the angels. You know, like even when it doesn't feel like it, very quickly I'm like, okay, cool, that was a massive layer of protection that I've been given there. So the main reason I wanted to put this message out to all of the Starseeds and Lightworkers today was, it's a reminder from my heart to your hearts, to your soul, that you incarnated in this vessel for this now moment. You came down here with such a huge mission. Now, for anybody that is just waking up, or maybe you've been awake for 20, 25 years, I want you to know that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life right now. I need you to bring it back into your divine heart space and just take some deep breaths as I'm talking to you, and just remember, on the planet right now, we have got many ascended masters, gods, goddesses that have their codes. This is the way I like to describe it. A lot of people say that they're incarnated. I actually don't resonate with that. What I believe is that we are picking up the codes of the people who have gone before us. Now, I'm quite vocal about this, and I know it upsets quite a lot of people, because a lot of people say, yeah, but I'm Jesus incarnated, or I'm Mary Magdalene incarnated. For me personally, I very much feel that there are codes that have been imprinted in the lands. Now, for example, you guys know I've traveled the world for the last, pretty much my whole life, unknowingly until 2014, but then knowingly from 2014, I've been wandering the earth, picking up codes of these incredible people that have walked before me, the monks, the gods, the goddesses, the pharaohs, you name it. All of these incredible places that I've been, it has always been to pick up the codes. And it hasn't always been, people of high stature. It's been people that have been incredible healers, the witches, the Aztecs. I've been going around the world picking up these codes. Now, I do not believe in the way that my Lucy Davis brain thinks. I do not believe that I am, I don't know, Artemis or Athena incarnated. I don't believe in that. What I believe is that wherever you go and wherever you walk, you pick up the codes of certain people. And then what's happening right now is the energies of these ascended masters and these gods and goddesses and the ascended masters, that is what we are now stepping into. And there are people that are doing God's work. There are people that are doing Jesus's work. There are people that are doing work very similar to Mary Magdalene. But I don't believe it's just one person doing this, which is why I say it's about the codes. I believe that there are many different codes in many different people that are focusing on very similar things. There's many people out there that have been doing the kind of work that I've been doing over the years, resetting the energies, bringing the energies back up into alignment so that Gaia can correct herself, and the high levels of consciousness can kick in, and we can set up this grid. I don't believe I'm the only person around the world doing it. I don't know, but I'm assuming, because I'm just Lucy Davis from Bournemouth. That's all I am. I'm Lucy Davis from Bournemouth. And yes, I speak out, and yes, I tell people what's going on and where the journey's going in the health series and all the rest of that beautiful stuff that I'm doing. But the fundamental truth of the matter is I am Lucy Davis this lifetime, and I have incarnated to do whatever work that it has been seen fit for me to achieve. Now, that might be a little bit of Jesus's work, healing. You guys know how close I am to St. Francis of Assisi. So I do a lot of healing on the animals and a lot of healing on the children. But also, if you look at some of the work that Mary Magdalene did, I am doing very much doing some of the work that she did. So this is why I believe that there's many different elements and many different angles to which all of us are doing right now. So I guess, very long story short, for this little tangent that I've started with today is, don't get caught up in the ascended masters or the gods, the goddesses, or any of that you might think that you're aligned to. Get caught up in who you are and what fires your soul up, and how you are going to achieve whatever it is that you've got sent down here to do. So the reason I wanted to go off on that little tangent first and foremost was, we are creating order out of chaos right now. I don't know how this sits with you, but for me personally, it's been chaotic for years. I got told in 2014 that the banks were going to collapse. And I remember telling a couple of my colleagues when I was working in investment banking, and they were like, "You're crazy, Lucy. Like, who do you think you are? You're absolutely off your head." And you can't blame them. I'm sat in an investment bank with 5,500 people. I'm sat on the trading floor where it's buzzy and everything's going on. And I'm there saying, hey, the banking system's going to collapse. Like, it's no surprise that they thought I was batshit crazy at that time. However, over those last 9 years, next year it will be 10 years, but over those last 9 years, we've seen chaos. We've seen the most chaotic situation in the form of COVID. That period of time was chaotic for everybody. Whether you believed or you didn't believe, it was chaotic. Then the peace came when lockdown kicked in. And then it became chaotic again when certain things were starting to be pushed and certain values, and it created distractions, and it created division and headbutting between you and your nearest and dearest and your families. Now, that's a really obvious distraction that has taken place over the last few years. And now looking back, I look at it as an absolute gift. I look at it as, wow, I was the fittest and the healthiest that I've ever been in my life during lockdown. Now, I know that's not the case for a lot of people, but I was out running 10 kilometers every day. Shh, don't tell anyone, because we were only supposed to go 5K. But, you know, I was out running 10 kilometers every day. I was in perfect condition. I looked incredible. I felt incredible. I had more energy than I've ever felt. You know, I was helping thousands of people around the world go on their journey. I had, you know, a following of 36,000 on Facebook that got taken from me when I was leading the protests. So this order that's going to come out of the chaos is going to be with us. The starseeds and the light workers that have come back online or are starting to come back online. And there's no judgment here. Just because I've been awake for 10 years doesn't mean that means I'm better than somebody that's just waking up today. And I really want you guys to get that. All we're here to do is wake up our soul brothers and sisters and remind each other where we are and what we came down here to do. Because so many of us have got lost, we've got caught up. So let's look at the type of distractions. And I'm going to suggest to any of you guys today, if you are getting distracted by any of these things, take a stop and check and look at yourself. Like, did you really incarnate to do what you are doing now? Now, distractions, the obvious ones that I speak about all the time are drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol are a complete distraction. If you are somebody that has a drink every single day, trust me, you had a high purpose. I was somebody that used to drink every day. I was somebody that, you know, used to go out and get completely off my head at the weekends. And it's because I had such a high purpose. I could never fathom back then the kind of purpose that I've got. Now, you know, I know the purpose that I've got. And I'm sure some people out there think that it's egotistical. Trust me, I would really like to just be sat at home with my husband and my 2.4 children and living such a beautiful, quiet life. But that isn't the destiny for me this lifetime. The destiny for me this lifetime is to help consciousness shift into balance, take consciousness to new earth, and then I will get the gift of, you know, the 2.4 children and whatever. Like, and I trust that completely. However, for many, many years, and I'm talking many, many years, I got distracted. I had the television on. I drank alcohol. I went out partying. I took drugs. I was promiscuous, you know, sex, pornography, you know, anything like that. It's an absolute distraction. It is to lead you astray from where you are and where you're supposed to be. Food is another great example. There are so many people out there that are going, oh my God, the delicacies of food, you know, oh my gosh, eat the cake, you know, do all the things because, hey, you only live once. Well, I'm going to tell you, I haven't only lived once. I've incarnated so many times and I've eaten the food and I've had the sex and I've enjoyed the alcohol and the fine wines and all the rest of it. But the fundamental truth of the matter is, if you are abusing yourself and eating too much sugar or eating too much meat or eating, you know, not clean fruits and vegetables, for example, like all of these different things are going to impact your body. Your body cannot function the way that you need it to function unless you treat it with love and respect. There are thousands, millions, billions of people around the world. They finish work, they get home, they have a beer, you know, they crack open a can of beer, they get the beer down their neck, then they sit on the couch and watch TV, and then they call a takeaway, or they have, you know, some food that doesn't include any nutrients. But they're having fun. It's fun, Lucy, it's fun. Like, what else would you do? The internet is such a huge distraction. Our mobile phones. That's all people do these days. Sit and scroll. Like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I am off my phone as much as I possibly can be these days. My weekly report of being on my phone is flying down and down and down. I am not interested. It's distractions. It's getting me caught up in a world that I don't need to be in. I know my purpose. How is the divine going to guide me? How's the divine going to guide you if you're constantly distracted or constantly drunk or constantly chasing that bit of skirt or whatever? And, you know, that's the first part of it. You've got to admit it. You've got to admit it. You cannot be sat there going, I'm holier than thou, when really you're a player, when really you drink alcohol every day. Like, you've got to get on top of your shit. You are only kidding yourself. And I have said this so many times, and there are so many people out there that are delusional, that think that they are being protected, when in reality, they're not being protected. If you are not on top of your stuff, and if you are not being honest with yourself, you are not going to go forwards. Your karma is going to zap you. You are going to have a health issue. You are going to have a significant event take place in your life, so that God is going to beat you back into place. And that's what happens. That's what has to happen to us starseeds and lightworkers, because we've forgotten. Look what happened to me. I'm a great example of this. I had such a highly successful life. Like, I was thriving. I was earning a fortune working on the trading floor. I had it all on paper. But behind closed doors, slowly but surely, my health was being stripped from me. And I didn't realize that. I thought indigestion, oh, it's just a bit of whatever. You know, oh, not being able to go to the toilet, oh, it's all right. You know, like, it's just one of those things. And then all of a sudden, the compounding and compounding and compounding of these issues, all of a sudden, it became serious. To the point that I burnt out, to the point that they put me on my ass to humble me. And then you know what happened from there. I had nowhere else to go. I hit rock bottom with my health. I couldn't have got any lower. They were going to take away my womb. They were going to, you know, cut me open and do surgery on, I've got a hernia in my esophagus. You know, I've learned to live with it. I've learned to change my diet. I've learned to live with it. I didn't need surgery. I get no pain from it whatsoever. Why? Because I've changed my life. But people are sat there putting up with these things day in, day out, because they think that that's what they need to do. They think it's the norm. People think popping pills every day is just a normal activity. It's not. You know, my mum's a great example of this. My mum's been taking about 16, 20 pills every single day since I remember as a young girl, you know, and it's just the norm to her. Now, I take a lot of pills, but they're all bloody supplements, you know, like, I don't take that many, but I double up my supplements every day, and it's just pure fruits, vegetables, and berries. If you want the link to those, go and click in the description field. You know, they're the best supplements I've ever had, and they are literal fruits, vegetables, berry, whole foods. That's it. There's no nasties in it. There's nothing in there that shouldn't be inside of your body, which is the only reason why I take them. That's what I take every day. You know, I don't take anything else. I don't take, you know, medical pills unless I really have to. But people have normalized just popping anything. They've normalized taking a pill for this to help them with the symptoms of that, to help them with the symptoms of that, and then we'll take that to distract from that. Like, we've normalized very, very abnormal behavior. And again, it's distractions. So, ladies and gents, I'm going to encourage you, and this is so weird me saying this because I'm on YouTube doing this video, and obviously this will go out on Rumble as well, but, you know, I'm going to encourage you to get off of your social media. I'm encouraging you to turn off the TV, like maybe have a movie a week or something like that, rather than constant watching of the television. You are being programmed by what you're seeing. You are living a life by what you're seeing. You know, very recently I watched the series, what's it called? Peaky Blinders. David, you know, wanted to watch the series, so of course I watched it with him. And it's fascinating to see how the behavioral traits show up in real life. You know, every single program that you watch, you are being programmed to believe that that is the way to live. And people say to me, oh, Lucy, I need to unwind, or, oh, Lucy, it's just a distraction. Exactly. It's exactly that. They are distracting you, thinking that it is right to fight. It's right to argue with your partner. It's right to be promiscuous and go and sleep around. It's not fucking right. But they've normalized it all. And people say, oh, I'm just watching it as a program. No, your behaviors then start to show up in your real life. But it's just a bit of fun. all of this has been designed. And this is the funny thing about it. There's so many people out there, you know, in the truth movement and things like that, that bang on about mainstream media and stuff, but yet they sit in front of the TV all day, every day, being programmed. Oh no, I'm above it. Nothing can get to me. Bullshit. You're a human being. You've been programmed. Your mind has been controlled. And it's down to you to break that cycle by changing your habits, by doing things differently. Get out into nature. Get off your lazy tush and go and do some work. And I don't mean literal work. I mean, go and exercise, go for walks, take time out for you. Be present. Go and sit by the water, go in the ocean. Go and pick some fruits and vegetables, like get your hands in the dirt, go and like plant some plants, you know, like go and do whatever it is to get you closer to nature, get you closer back to the person that you are. Remember, ladies and gents, we are literal water and salt. You are the ocean, but just trapped in a physical body. So go and throw yourself in the ocean. I've been doing it loads recently. Any opportunity I get, I'm in the ocean, I'm barefoot on the sand, I'm walking along, I'm breathing in the air, because that's home to me. By being distracted by the television, by alcohol, by drugs, by, you know, a heavy low vibrational diet, i.e. a lot of meat. And I'm sorry to say it, I know there's a lot of people out there that are on the carnivore diet, but I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. You know, there's a lot of people that need meat, and I get that. But when you are having 90% of your diet being meat, trust me, there's going to come to a point when your body says, I can't do this, because the vibration is extremely low. Now, I coach people who are on this diet, and I say to them, right, make sure that we get the best quality. Make sure that you get the quality whereby the cows have been treated nicely whilst they've been alive or whatever. You know, I don't judge people for what they eat. I know that people need to eat meat. I personally don't. I mean, I'm not even eating at the moment. So that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? I've been fasting for a week when I'm filming this. By the time this goes out, I would have done 10 days. And I'm aiming for about 3 weeks to heal a lot of things that I need to go back and heal. I've done 28 days before. Was it 28 or 29 or 30? I don't know. I've done a lot longer than I'm going to do this time. And the only reason I'm cutting it shorter is because I'm going to go back to the UK, and I'm not sure how I'm going to cope being back there whilst I'm fasting, you know, just because I'm not going to have my juicer and things like that. So it's very interesting. But, you know, I will always give my body a rest, because there is no distraction. Like when you're fasting, there is no distractions. The only distraction is this, or the television. Now, I've got 100% discipline with the television. I never switch it on, ever. Me personally, never put it on. My phone is a different thing. You know, obviously I get distracted by that. People message me or whatever, and I respond. But for me personally, I've been through quite a lot recently, and I know I've shared some things, and I will go into a lot of detail when I can, probably in a week or two after this video goes out. But I've been through a lot recently, and as soon as I started to feel physically better in myself, I decided, right, that's it. And it was last Friday, I did a full moon release, and I literally released everything that needed to be released, because it was the most powerful full moon that we've had in a very long time. And I just was like, you know what, I'm cutting all of these cords. I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to do these lessons anymore. Like, I am done. And then I made the decision whilst I was on the beach that night, saying, right, tomorrow you're going to start fasting. Like, literally, I gave myself no preparation, nothing, no time to talk myself out of it. And that's how I've done a week. And basically what I've done is I've put myself on a protocol whereby I do a particular concoction which kind of removes heavy metals and things like that, which I don't share with people publicly, because unless you're on my program, because it really does release a lot of emotions. And what I've realized is when people do it without the support, it's just not easy for them, and they actually break down and can't cope, and then they go back to eating like they used to, and then their body starts to get clogged up and stuff. So that piece of it I don't share. This time I've gone into juices. Monday, Tuesday next week, I'm probably going to be water fasting because I'm traveling. So it kind of makes sense. It's just easier for me. How am I going to get juices through an airport? How am I going to have juices when I'm in a hotel? You know, that kind of thing. So that's my vision and my mission. So when you guys are watching this, I'm going to be water fasting. Pray for me. And I'm going to enjoy every single moment of it, you know, because I can get water from anywhere, you know, I can hydrate myself in that way. And this is me removing every distraction from my life. You know, like I've been sat here on occasions and I'm like, oh, I could really just do with, you know, like a little bit of hummus on a carrot or something. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that sometimes these thoughts creep in just because I want to procrastinate or just because I want to, you know, distract myself from whatever. So this is the perfect time right now for me personally to be detoxing my body, opening up my vessel even further to the divine and saying, you know what, like I'm here to work with you. Give it to me. Give it to me. If you want me to work with you, like you got to show me that you've got my back. And I do know that they really do have my back more than I ever realized, like genuinely. So let's recognize who we are following. Do you get good vibes from somebody? Like if any of you are watching this now and it's making you feel sick and the things that I'm talking about are going, it doesn't resonate with me, switch me off. Don't you be staying on here just because you like me. Turn it off if it doesn't resonate with you. Like this is what I'm encouraging you to do right now. I don't want you to just be a follower. I want you to be like, this person makes me feel good, I'm going to hang around her. Or this person doesn't make me feel good, I'm going to stop following him, I'm going to remove myself from his group. You know, this is what we need to be doing. And people will trigger the heck out of you. That's not a reason to stop following them. When you get triggered, it's beautiful. It means that you are recognizing the healing in yourself. At no point, and you guys should know this as the Starseeds and Lightworkers, at no point when you get triggered is it the other person's doing. No, it's the way that you've interpreted the message. If you think somebody's been a bit blunt with you, you know, you need to take that on board. It's the way that I react to your behavior. You know, and there are times, you know, I'm a sensitive little flower. I can pick up on any shift in energy, and I'm sure you guys can as well with, you know, being Starseeds and Lightworkers. But I own that. I'm like, I'm feeling a difference here. Now I know this is my stuff, but let's just get back into alignment. Let's just get grounded into each other's energy again or whatever. And then you know if somebody's being funny or whatever, because it gives them an opportunity to present themselves and show themselves. So look at all the distractions in your life right now. What are you doing to distract yourself? What are you doing to get disconnected from source? You know, because like I said, any distraction, every time you sit and watch the TV, do you think source or God is going to come through to you and talk to you? No, not going to get any messages to you. How are you going to receive downloads if you're sat in front of the TV like this? Or passed out in front of the TV? You're not going to get the downloads, guys. You're not going to get the information. You are distracting. You are giving yourself something else to do rather than sitting with it. So this last week, I've been sat a lot in silence. I have been sat a lot in meditation. I have been, you know, obviously I've had to make juices since I've been juicing, but until that point, I was, you know, really sat with the gross concoction that I make and, you know, really going through a process which wasn't particularly pleasant. You know, I'm emptying the whole of my vessel so that I can detox and I can go inwards and I can say, right, I am now pure. I am now pure. I have the opportunity to be pure and allow everything in that needs to come in. And by default of me doing this, obviously I'm healing the physical elements of me that have, you know, perhaps not been looked after so well of recent. We must get back out to earth. We must get back out to nature. Like I said a short time ago, we've really got to take our responsibility, you know, we've got to take ownership and responsibility for the person that we want to be. There are so many people out there that are like, oh, you know, I'm here to change the world. Yet they're sat there smoking their fags and drinking their beers and, you know, being promiscuous and treating people like shit. Like, I'm sorry, but God is watching you. God is watching you. If you're saying to somebody, you know, oh, I'm holier than thou and I'm an angel, but behind closed doors, you're doing things that go against the messages that you're giving to somebody, the promises that you're making, trust me, you're going to get burnt. Now, that said, as I always say, it doesn't mean you can't have good boundaries and tell people to fuck off if they need it. You're not here to be a wallflower. What you're here to be is honest. And the thing is, Starseeds and Lightworkers, honesty resonates with you. Not just hearing it, but giving it as well. And this is the issue that I found with a lot of people recently, is they cannot be honest for shit. I rattle people's feathers because I am so freaking honest. I say to people, yeah, you know what? I shouted. You know what? I got angry. You know what? This old trauma came up. You know what? I had this awful situation happen to me. And that's why I trigger people, because so many people out there, and one of my beautiful teams said it so eloquently to me this week. He said to me, Lucy, there are many people out there that want to see you fail. They are going to go through everything that you've ever done in your life, and they are going to try and find holes in you because you are leading New Earth. And it's true. Why do you think I wrote a book, like a no holes barred kind of book, whereby all of my secrets are out there? Nobody can ever hold anything against me. I've admitted it all. I am real. And I know that that really ruffles people's feathers, because I expect the same back. My team will tell you, my coaches will tell you, like, I don't care if they mess up. If they do something, that's fine, but just come to me and tell me and be honest about it. I've had so many of my coaches come to me and be like, oh my God, I got so triggered during my session today. Like, and I almost felt myself starting to judge, and I almost felt myself, going to defend myself. And then I reined myself in, Lucy. That's cool. That's such huge awareness. I get triggered. My God, I have got triggered. I coach thousands of people around the world. And I still get triggered. I'm not going to sit there and say I've got my shit together. I far from have my shit together. But what I will do is I will tell you, and I will be honest with you, and I will be vulnerable with you, and I will put my hands up and I will say, I messed up. And I will let you guys know that I love more fiercely than anything. This is the job of us as Starseeds and Lightworkers. And this is why I had to deliver this message to you today. So many of you are distracted. So many of you are not on your path, because you just want to keep the low vibration people around you happy. If you are somebody that bitches about people behind their back, check yourself. Check yourself. You can have opinions, of course. This doesn't feel in alignment with my values. This isn't the vibration I want to be in. Of course, you can have that. But do something about it. Don't just sit there in their company being nice to their face and then bitch about them behind their back, because that is low vibration. We are in a period of time whereby we are saying which direction we're going, and people are picking their paths right now. By being around people that you don't like, by hanging around people that you're, oh, I don't like their values, or I don't like this, I don't like that. Like, trust me, you hanging around those people, you're going to get burned. You've either got to go, you know what, I like these people and I was wrong to bitch about them. Or you say, you know what, these aren't my people. And yes, it might mean that I'm on my own for a little while, but you know what, I'd rather that than be around people that don't share my values, that don't share my visions, that don't share my belief systems. The other thing I just want to raise into consciousness now is there's a lot of people out there that are bitching about each other in the spiritual world regarding work and things like that. Now, I think that this is a really low blow, a really low blow. Just because you don't resonate with somebody doesn't mean that they aren't doing what they got sent down here to do. And this is the thing that we need to recognize. There are so many people doing things that don't resonate with me. Something that I used to do, the whole truth movement thing. I used to be one of the front runners. I used to be out there doing the protests. I was speaking about this before there was even a truth movement. It doesn't resonate with me anymore. So I just don't speak about it. But I'm not slating the people that do it. They've got my full support. It's just not me anymore. I'm working with consciousness. I'm choosing New Earth. I don't want to stay in that world. Doesn't mean that I can't hang out with people and be nice to people and, converse with people that are in that world. Not at all. I've got some great friends in that world. Just means I'm not doing that anymore. Now, a lot of people don't resonate with my work because my work is completely woo-woo. The health stuff a lot of people resonate with. And by the way, we're going to be kicking that off massively in the next couple of weeks. So do keep posted. The only reason it's been delayed, guys, is because I got banned and now I'm going traveling. So what I really want to do is create such an amazing series whereby we've got experts and stuff. And I know that that's going to resonate with many of you out there. But my woo-woo stuff, the travel stuff, the stuff where I go and realign the energies and stuff, a lot of people will be like, well, it doesn't make any sense to me. So why would it resonate with you? It doesn't mean that you should be out there putting me down. She's fucking crazy, blah, 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 blah. Like, a lot of people don't get psychic insights. I do. Like, you can't pull the wool over my eyes on anything. I know. Whether I tell you I know or I don't, that's a different matter, but I know. Let people be who they are meant to be. Let people be. A coping mechanism, emotional trauma, is to bitch, is to put other people down. Like, if you find yourself putting other people down, check yourself. That's not what we came down here to do. We came down here to do our job. Doesn't matter what other people are doing. Everybody is allowed different beliefs. Everybody is allowed to be on their journey in whichever way they need to be. I am calling to all of you Starseeds and Lightworkers to activate and awaken that thing within you. What's so beautiful is so beautifully empowering. I've had a lot of male clients in the last 3 weeks. It's really interesting. I've had a lot more male clients than normal, and the men are coming online. We've got these two elements with the men at the moment. The men are massively under attack. These energies in May, they're hitting the men really, really, really hard. But what's happening is some men are going, oh my God, I need help. Oh my goodness, I need some grounding. Or, oh my goodness, I need some guidance here. And I've had, the last 3 men that I've done today, have been incredible. Absolutely incredible. It has been amazing to be sat in their company. One of them I did an exercise with, and he was like, oh my God, I'm buzzing from head to toe, Lucy. Like, what have you done to me? And I was like, you wait and see what happens over the next week. It's just about unlocking. It's about holding space for these amazing men to be like, this has made no sense to me my whole life, but all of a sudden now it makes sense. And I've just needed somebody to hold space for me. And that's what's happening. And I want to commend you guys out there, you men out there that are stepping up and recognizing that you got sent down here on a massive mission, and that you are all of a sudden expanding your divine heart space because you know that this is what you got put here to do. I commend you. I say thank you to each and every one of you, because the girls have been leading, the girls have been holding the fort for such a long time, and we need the men. There are going to be many men that drop away. They're going to go back to alcohol. They're going to go back to sleeping around. They're going to go back to all of those old behaviors. They're not our men. They're not coming with us. And I say that without any judgment. It hurts, but there's no judgment. We cannot force anybody to do anything. And ladies, let's own it. We've all wanted to force somebody over the last few years to listen to us, whether it be our mum or our partner or our children or whatever. We've all wanted to force people, and we can't do that. We're not here to force people. We are here to be the beacon. We are here to be the light. We are the light workers and starseeds. We have got little light bulbs spread all over the world. So wherever your location is, comment it below. Let me know where you're from so we can see how big the grid is. And I guarantee, just from watching this video, we have got people all the way around the world. And we're connecting our divine heart space. We are raising the consciousness as a collective, as a team. We came here on a mission together. We committed, like we were up there and we were going, oh yeah, let's remember, whenever Lucy wears red, and this is why I wear red sometimes, red activates the people from Avalon. Whenever I wear red and I speak on stage or whatever, people go bing, 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 and they get very, very quick successive activations, which is why I wear red sometimes. I like wearing red too. It's a little bit sassy. Red makes me think of Sassy Sally, which is what I call my ego. She helps me get shit done. So, whenever you see me in red, you know that I mean business. You know that I am coming to change something and to really bring a message home. So let's start to get aligned. Let's start to remember who we are. Like, you don't need to worry about your purpose. Your purpose is to be you. Your purpose is to shine the light. Your purpose is to love and to be loved. That's it. Whatever comes off the back of it, whether you're an amazing public speaker or you're a film star or you are, a pop star or you are creating some amazing book or something, like you're an author or whatever, please note, all you need to remember right now is that you are here to love and to be loved. End of freaking story. Whatever comes off the back of it will come off the back of it. And trust me, when you can love and be loved, you know, that is when life changes. And I've got to be honest with you, since I have allowed myself to be loved, because I've always loved. I've always loved, love, 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 love. Everywhere I go, I give, 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 give. I'm so giving towards people. But as soon as I allowed myself to be loved, my journey went to a whole new level. And I reminded myself that that is what I came down here to do. And okay, things might not be the way that I want them to be. However, I know in my heart that every single step that I take on my journey, every single step forwards is exactly that. It's a step forwards. It's about getting one step closer to what I call home, one step closer to New Earth, one step closer to being the person that Lucy Davis incarnated to be. And maybe that will be the Mary Magdalene of this time. Maybe it will be the St. Francis of Assisi of this time. Maybe it will be the Kuan Yin of this time. Who freaking cares about the old ascended masters? I mean, we all do, but you know, it's not about them. It's about us stepping up into our roles and bringing in something that none of those ascended masters have ever been able to do. And this is why I say to you, stop getting caught up in them and start recognizing who you are. We are here on a mission. We are here with a job that none of those could do. So why are we holding them in such high regard when we're going to do this? This is the lifetime that we do it. This is the incarnation that it takes place as the Lucy Davis and the Jack Jones and the Paul Smith. You know? Us. And every single person in our life, if you can just start looking at them as a player in the game, you know, as part of the illusion, you very quickly will remove the attachments that you've got and the disruption and the disdain and the hurt and the pain that you perceive them to be creating you. When in reality, they don't have a freaking clue what they're doing. It's all an illusion. We came down here to learn and shift consciousness. Let's stop getting caught up in the reeds. You know, when you go in a river and there's reeds all at the bottom, and you know that you get warned about it as a kid, don't jump in the river because the reeds will tie around your ankles and you'll drown. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Let's not allow these things to weight us down like stones around your ankles. Like, why would we do that? It's time to get rid of all of that. It's time to ascend. It's time to rise up. You beautiful bunch. It's time to rise up. It's time to be present. It's time to remove these distractions. And anybody out there saying, I don't drink too much, or it's not a problem that I'm drinking, just you remind yourself, is this really your circus? Is this really your monkeys? I don't want to be around that right now. Like, I'm detoxing. I'm getting myself really back into alignment. I don't want to be around the heaviness of alcohol, you know, and the hedonistic lifestyle. Like for me, hedonistic lifestyle of the music and the lust and the temptress and the alcohol and the drugs and the porn and all of that stuff, like it's related to a very, very dark entity. And I know, like, I have been there. I have been in that environment where I was completely caught up in the going out for drinks and, oh, it's only a bottle of wine with dinner. And then, oh, it's only a shot, or, you know, like I've been caught up in that, which is why when people say, oh, you're a bit judgy about that. No, I was living it. I was living it, and I don't want to live it again. I love a glass of wine from time to time, guys. Like I really, really do. God knows when I'll have the next one because I'm fasting. But, you know, I love a glass of wine from time to time, but I don't want that to be my life. Now, next week, or I'm going to do a video at some point, probably not next week, so I'm hoping to do the health matters series starting from next week. But at some point, I am going to do a video on standards, because I have been talking about standards for a very long time. And kind of what I've been talking about today alludes to setting standards. Like, how do you know what you want in your life unless you set yourself some standards? So I'm going to make sure that I take that as a takeaway, and I create a video on standards at some point soon, because a lot of people say to me, my God, Lucy, you've got such good standards and you've got such good boundaries. Trust me, the people don't like it that are having the boundaries put in place with them. But it's true. I do have good boundaries and I do have standards. And if somebody's not meeting those standards, they might get away with it for a little while, but they won't get away with it for long. You know, like sometimes even I lose myself in certain things. And I'll speak about that much more vulnerably in a few weeks or something. But, you know, sometimes we do get caught up in something that perhaps isn't quite as aligned as we need it to be. And that is, you know, that is where I've realized in the last few weeks that my guides sometimes lead me astray, and they put me in situations to learn lessons that I didn't really need to learn this lifetime. I've already learned them. You know, so I'm being really, 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 like, I'm not really, although I'm listening to my guides and I trust my guides, I'm coming to my heart space for everything now. Lots of shifts that have taken place in me in the last few weeks, guys. I don't know if you can feel it through the video, but there are so many shifts that have taken place, and I feel more loosey and more powerful than I felt in a very, very, very long time. And, you know, the more I fast, the more the power is going to be. So I'm really excited to be on this journey with you guys. Of course, I'll talk about fasting and stuff through the videos when they come up, especially if it's going to be a solution for people to help them. But it's just such a beautiful way of life. I do fasting twice a year, every year without fail. And again, this year will be no different. Guys, I hope you have found this beautiful message to you guys helpful. Please do comment below. Like I say, I'll be in the air, so I won't be able to watch this with you and comment as you're watching it. But I will check in as soon as I get landed in the location that I'm going to. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere which has been calling for a long time, and I've got to do some big work there. So I'll be resetting the tone as I fly, and then I will be back in the UK when I'm meant to be there, guys. Okay, I love you so much. Thank you for your continued support. Again, apologies for getting banned. Please do go and follow my Rumble channel just in case I get kicked off again, because I think next time I'll be banned for a month. So head over to my Rumble channel. Everything will be in the description, and you can find me on any of those locations on any of my social media. Guys, I love you to the moon and stars. Have the most incredible Monday, and I will catch you live next week.